thing that I also find very interesting about the drafts that we have here, this Snapfire, you know, we always forget that Snapfire is actually a really tanky hero. Like, she's universal. This is going to be yet another body in front of the Muerta. So getting to her is even more difficult than it would be otherwise. And they also have some nice counter engage. But speaking of, poor little Pugner trying to run himself away, but Xu Sheng, sorry, bro. Gonna end up being dead. First blood goes the way of the Enchantress. No, they really wanted to give that to one of the cores, but unfortunately, Pugner is a little bit speedy, so they were like, yeah, let's just kill him now. Get the free gold, it's fine.
Yeah, he's a fast little boy. And unfortunately for them, a lot of their other cores are not able to keep up. So the kill does go the way there of normal end. So Enchantress seems like going to be going towards the bottom side. So I'm not quite sure if normal end's going to stick there or whether or not YYY is going to go towards bottom side. So probably the range and melee combination is what they want to try and go for here in both their lanes, so they don't get kind of run over in that bottom side. Or Bash God.
YYY might actually be dead here, though. Gets disrupted. Dead shot, not going to go anywhere from Erica. So, yeah, Saw's mate, you are probably going to end up dead. Blast comes in from the Pugner. Nice little revenge from the Pug. Must feel good. It's not the first blood, though. So, Lost Dog still relatively okay with how this game is opening up.
Yeah, not the bonus gold, and a little unfortunate there that Erica shows the dead shot miss. It's always, to me, when I see these Muertas, I think she's one of those heroes that really requires a lot to get used to how she plays and how to kind of utilize her in certain parts of the game. I think she's an insane laner. She does a lot of damage. Deadshot as well as the calling is a very hard combination to try and deal with for any hero, let alone a melee hero. So if you're able to abuse her in the lane and then just sit back and farm and then get to your 3-item timing, that's when you can really become a strong hero. But early game, you need to make sure that these dead shots are on point and enabling you to kind of outrange people and trade with them with, gunslinger and all that kind of stuff later.
So about to hit level 2 soon. We'll see how she fares on that side of the map. Down bottom, Morphling playing with Pugner. Feels very annoying to play into, but I feel like Morphling should be able to farm, but Doom should also be able to get a pretty good time for himself. They don't have nearly enough damage to zone out of Doom here.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to get him out of lane. It is a hard hero to deal with early on, especially with Enchantress being able to throw these impetus shots over to the Morphling, right? So A is going to have some issues early on here until the Pugner can turn into his little HP battery. So Normalane's doing a really good job, but Shining being able to stay alive is exactly what they need here. He can just sit back, farm up, get a Vanguard early. Morphling won't pressure him as long as he doesn't die early to a Pugner rotation, he'll be perfectly okay. And man, look at middle. Echoes is absolutely dominating Chosen One.
Yeah.
Like the first wave, I don't think he got a single creep out of the first wave, did Chosen One. And then Echoes kind of just sat underneath his tower and denied a few creeps underneath it as well and just kind of screwed with him. He didn't deny some of the creeps, but he was cooking them out of his range, so he couldn't actually get the last hit and stuff like that, which I think was cool.
He's doing a phenomenal job here. At some point, he was doubling up the CS of this Magnus. And I don't think this matchup gets that much easier, right, as time goes on.
Oh, no.
We'll see how Chosen One decides to respond. You might need some help from the side lanes because things are not going to get better. And they need him, right? There's no dynamism from Limit Gaming. You have Morphling or Baron on the side lanes. You need this Magnus to do as well as humanly possible so you can buy those mobility items. Otherwise, you're just sitting back waiting for Lost Dog to make the moves and hoping you can respond.
And especially the worst part as well is Y can always just charge towards the middle lane, right? And as long as he gets some good angles, it's going to be hard for the Magnus to deal with it. So if he's getting dominated in the CS and then they make one rotation with their Spirit Breaker or even their Enchantress, it's going to be a bit of a rough start for Limit. Because as you said, it's really a lot of the Magnus to make the ganks happen for them. A lot of the other heroes don't do much. They've got very, very passive supports and very, very passive cores as well. So it's going to be all on Chosen One to get some good connections with RP or Skewer. So looking at the Harpoon and the Blink timing, a lot here for Chosen One to see if they've got that nice little window to get some kills early on.
Speaking of itemization, actually, what do you think Shining is going to build here? They've changed Octarine core, and a lot of these Dooms would get very early Octarines, like you go Vanguard in the lane, disassemble later into the Octa. But now that that's not an option anymore, and you still need at least a Ring of Health for the laning phase, do you still go Octarine, even though it's going to take a little bit longer to build up because you can't do the disassembly?
Yeah, so I've seen today Mobe did it. He went Vanguard, but then he still disassembled into Octarine. So that was on a Timbersaw though, not on a Doom, which is a little different. I think Doom was one of those heroes that really kind of abused the HP regen from it all. So I think it's still doable. It just costs you 700 extra gold technically, right? So it's one of those things where you kind of just increase the price by making the disassemble less efficient. But it's still good. Like, Octarine Core is still amazing. It's just not as broken as what it was.
Bottom lane, we might get a kill onto this Pugna as Shining and Normal End able to run down our green man, our green Skelly. As he dies, Morphling won't be zoned out of the lane, but should not be having the easiest time. Still though, I want to look at this dude, this mid lane. Chosen One is still, look at him.
Spanked.
He's literally just been standing on his side of the map, like on the tower side. Can't move around. Like, down bottom's being harassed, but Chosen One, he needed help. Xu Sheng had to come through and say, bro, do something, please. Like, you can't just stay on this side of the map. And the moment he goes over the river, he loses half his HP. This is a rough spot to be in for our Magnus player.
Yeah, especially because we're getting very, very close to the Mortimer's Kisses. So I think as soon as we get those up, that is almost game over.
No way.
Hey,
are they actually going to kill this Morphling? They're running him down right now, and they aren't going to be able to get the kill. They exploit the fact that Xu Sheng showed middle, so they knew the Pugna, not only could he not be bottom, but he didn't have a TP either. What a read on the game from the Lost Dog. And what a massive pickup to be able to get the Morphling early on. Top lane, we do have Morty's Kisses raining down. The first rotation from our Snapfire allows them to get the kill onto the Sabaton. Down bottom, we are losing the Pugna's life as well between himself and Normal End. It's going to be a win for Normal End as he right-clicks down the Pugna. So they get 2 kills up on top. They get 2 kills out on bottom. Lost Dog owning the entire map right now. The one bright spot for Limit Gaming is at least Chosen One got to get some CS in middle.
Yeah, he's slightly catching up, I guess. He's at least eclipsed the 50%, but that was the most value ghost I've ever seen. It netted him 2 kills. Normal Ends, he should have paid that ghost a commission because that was insane the amount of work it did. The fact that he just followed Xu Sheng just like literally from, where was it? It was like just behind his tier 1 tower to behind the Roche pit on the Radiant side. He was just like, I'm just going to kill you because you haven't decrept yourself yet, so I can almost guarantee that you don't have it.
Oh, he's dead. Xu Sheng is about to be killed off once more. This time around, It's not a ghost, it's a Warpine Raider, but nonetheless, Normal End showing his value. Man, there's just something about Chinese Enchantress players. They just know something we do not, able to own early games in miraculous fashion. In the top lane, oh no, CXK, hey, he did. Bro, How many did they get the other day? I think it was like 1 bounty rune across like 2 games, like 2 or 3 or something. It was crazy. We're already cutting into that figure quite nicely. Good job, CXK.
Yep, not I think, I don't want to be a doomer and gloomer, but losing that Wisdom rune could have made the next like 5 minutes be much more painful than what it's going to be. I know it might be a little hyperbolic to say that, but if Y was able to get that, he gets towards like level 5.5, and then they get a little bit more experience on Normal End as well. So, and then that just means that CXK is like not even at level 4, and he's dead anyway. So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This is snowball that continues to happen. So. All right, let's try and theorize what they need to do. I think they need to try and combine a lot of their heroes together and try and get themselves a core kill. If they can kill Shining, if they can kill Echoes, if they can kill Erica, then that might be a little bit better. Well,
they just lose Pugna mid, and Echo get involved in another kill. Honestly, Fluke, I like this idea, but we have a big problem, fam. Right now, who actually does damage on Limit Gaming? Abaddon does 0 damage. Chosen One, you know, we've seen the nerfs, and he doesn't have any items just yet. This Morphling is not ready to fight right now. Need Lincoln Sphere ASAP before he can do anything. CXK literally is their highest damage dealing hero at the moment, and that's predicated on getting all the Shadow Poisons out. I think they're in trouble. I don't even think they can make those kind of moves. And Lost Ark, the one bright spot for them is that Lost Ark, I don't think will be under any pressure to make those moves either. They'll understand the situation, so they can just farm. For now, you have Doom, you have Muerta. You don't really mind ricing it up for a moment. So that might give a little bit of time for a limit to at least get some items for themselves to make those moves happen on the map.
Yeah, I think the big thing here for the Last Ark is 2 out of the 3 cores are more than happy to sit back and farm, whereas one of them is more than happy to get the aggression going. And you can see now this is where it can all go bad.
Aggression to the top lane. Leng Yao did get off the level 6, so he does have borrowed time. Triggers it off, but he's being slowed to hell and back. Decides to maybe turn around, but will not be able to get out of this fight. Morty's kisses get reined in as well by Echoes to make sure that they can kill off the Abaddon. As the Scatter Blast finishes him off, Normal End has been right-clicking down the Clinks, or the Pugner rather, not Clinks, getting that kill too. So 2 heroes brought down. The one bright spot though, yet again, is they still want to farm, but crucially, their tower damage is horrendous. So this tower might not actually die here, and if it does, it's going to take them a little bit of time to accomplish.
Yeah, they have to kind of sit back and chip away at it for a decent amount of time. But if they constantly keep getting these kills, I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that Chosen One is stuck himself towards his top side. And the nerfs to Magnus means that he doesn't farm as much. So it's very hard for him to actually like flash farm back. Like the fact that it's 50% instead of 75% is kind of crazy. It's basically brings it down to level 2 Empower for yourself. Like that's the way you got to think about it. Is like you lose 2 levels on Empower now when you use it on yourself instead of using it on others. So it's an ability that isn't as bonkers as what it was. I think it was in a pretty wild place, but I also think 50% may have been a little bit too much for Core Magnus.
You know, I feel having legitimately lost memory of the last time I played Dota without Magnus being in the game, I'm fine. I'm okay with it. Get wrecked, Mr. One Man.
He's one of those fan favorite heroes, though, right? Like, I think, you know, personally, if we lose somebody like Magnus from the Dota roster, I would be quite sad just because RP is something else. But I do agree that the AFK nature of Empower plus Empower on a core was definitely not a gameplay loop that I want to sit back and watch. But I mean, just maybe make it like 55 or 60% instead of like flat 50. Because I think flat 50 is too harsh on
Listen, bro, I'm still in my heart of hearts, right? I'm still replaying. Well, there's many games I'm replaying in my mind, but I can't get Game 5 Team Spirit versus PSG LGD at TI out of my mind. Delete Magnus from the game. Given ages to Xiaowei and the crew. Thank you very much. I'll take that trade. I'm fine with that. I'm still salty, dude. I mean, I'm also still salty about Axe overall, but IceFrog did the right thing. That hero's terrible, thankfully. Charge coming in onto this Pugner with some Morty's kisses. CXK will render some salvation for a little bit, but there's no way that Chu Sheng survives this one. Normalend gets the finish off. Dude, this Enchantress is 6-0 and 2 at 12 minutes of the game.
Yep. It's almost like we're seeing a replica as ZQ, right? On that Enchantress where he had an insane Venomancer game and now he has a insane Enchantress game. So, I mean, Normalend's having an absolute cracker of a game. And then 9k up at 12 minutes into the game here for the Last Ark. So, they're in a really, really good spot. They still need to try and get some of these items to secure the game and finish the game off, right? Like they've only got Midas on Shining as well as his Vanguard. He can go for a quick Blink Rush if he wants to. He could try and go for a fast Octarine. Depends what he really wants to. Erica's now got Maelstrom moving in towards the Mjolnir. So they still have a little bit of time before they get to those breakpoints where they're unstoppable. I think right now they definitely could lose a fight if they overextend, but it's not like they can finish the game in just 12 minutes. A's in trouble.
Charge going
Doom's
bottom
coming.
onto A. The Doom is coming closer and closer with Normalend. He's already used the waveform. It's back in a moment, and he has it again. He should be fine. Whew. Close call. And this is a very significant moment because he needs to get close to this Lincoln Sphere. If you can get to the Lincolns by like 15 minutes, transition into a Manta by 20, you can still feel really good about this game. If they'd killed him, though, that probably derails the plan. So A is still in a decent position with this Morphling. And honestly, Fluke, I know I've been talking trash about this Morph for the last few weeks, but the scales have fallen from my eyes. He can still carry this game. if he has a decent enough itemization route.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for him is as long as he said, like, this game gets later, he only really has to worry about Doom, but as a Morphling, you kind of play around that. Like, you're half decent into the Mortar because you're able to kind of turn into her. You can dead shot her outside of a BKB. As long as you can kite out, pierce the veil, it should be okay. And it's not like the other cores in the last arc are really going to outscale you, right? Like, you're not all too worried about a Mortar, you're not all too worried about a Sapphire, you're not all too worried about a Doom. Like, yeah, they're going to get, like, their own items and they're going to get fat themselves, but you have Mag, which is one of those heroes that is just naturally really, really good in the late game, just off the back of RP. So, as long as they hit, it's always good. Oh, they killed his ulti.
Oh, no. Game is hard, buddy. Everything is not going the Morphling's way. And he's so close to having the money for the recipe as well. Feels bad. Well, last stock.
Top.
They are getting this charge out. And why? He's actually fine. They don't get the connection with the skewer. He's gonna live. Chosen One doesn't want to RP him. And because he lives, he can just post up in front of the tower. It's not an easy kill for them to grab. They're still gonna try for it though. They brought too many heroes here to just let this go. But they might not have a choice, Fluke. They're forced to just like long range, spam out the Nether Blast from Xu Sheng. This is not an efficient way to utilize these 4 heroes.
No, it's really not. But this is what they kind of have to do. They have to stick around as this 4-man crew to try and get something done. But this could potentially leave A open to a gank. Shining is going to try and play the tree line, get a Doom out before he gets his Agimorph off.
This time he's ready. Oh my god, he's so dead. He has like no agi, dude. He is so gone. CXK will try with the disruption to save him for now. But with Morty's kisses coming in and Y being present, there's no way to save his life. CXK dies in the process as well. Normal end, not actually under threat. The impetus dealing more damage than they can dish out from the side of Limitless. And of course, he has the untouchable, so they just don't have the damage. Chosen One waiting in the wings with Leng Miao. But he doesn't have a blink yet, so he can't actually get into the fight. This is so frustrating for the side of Limit Gaming, but they literally can't do anything right now, Fluke.
Yeah, I mean, well, they have an Abaddon with a phylactery, and he's building into Ags, so...
Phylactery? All right, talk to me about this, fam. Are you a fan of this?
I don't know. Is it good? I mean, he does a lot of damage with miscall. I'll give him that. He does a boatload of damage when he miscalls people, but then you're an Abaddon with a phylactery, you know? Doesn't feel like you do much else outside. I could see this as a pos 4 build. And I'd be happy with that. I'd be like, hell yeah. But the fact that he's playing pos 3 kind of makes it a little worse, I think, for me. I can understand the Aghanim Scepter because there's a lot of damage that's kind of unavoidable. Like, look at how much damage he did with a shield pop plus a miscoil, right? Like, it does a lot of damage, but is it good enough?
I'm just happy we're getting something new. Also, it will not surprise you to learn that this is the first phylactery ever built on a pattern in a pro game.
Yeah. I don't even know who thinks of this. Like, who would just go, you know what, I'm playing core Abaddon, instead of me getting like Echo Ags or like Echo Crimson Guard or something like that, they're like, I want phylactery. What? Yeah,
baby. Leng Miao, man. This guy has entertained me greatly over the course of this year, and he continues to do so with this itemization in Game 1. The more important thing, though, is that although the Lost Dog has been winning these fights, we still have our Tier 2 towers. Their lack of push potential is going to come back to bite them if they don't end this game in time. They charge forward with Y, looking for Leng Miao, as well as Xu Sheng. Nether Strike back onto the Pugna. He's so low on the HP. Does manage to survive a little bit, and Leng Miao actually kills off the Spirit Breaker. Borrow time has been triggered, though, so the Abaddon should end up dead. Shining gets credited with the kill onto the Pugna as well while this is happening. And they might want to continue with this fight. Shining does have the Doom, so this Morphling doesn't feel super safe, even if he does have this Lincoln Sphere. Everybody retreats, and they're going to just give up this Tier 2 tower, even if it's going to take a while to push down.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe they might feel a little confident with the Lincoln Sphere up and available, but right now it is looking like they are just going to leave the area. A still has such a long time before he becomes scary, right? Like, he's got Lincoln Sphere, so it means he doesn't just get doomed from fog, but he doesn't do anything in these fights, so
yeah.
going to be a long time before they get to the point where they're feeling like they can take a full 5-on-5 and 6K. Oh, okay, nice little shield.
Nice little shield there. They threw out the Demonic Purge onto the Snapfire. She has finished off a Rod of Atos, the usual route for these universal heroes from the mid lane. Now, though, they actually decide that there's no Morty's Kisses. They want to try force a fight. Limit Gaming, they've smoked up on 4. They have A on the forefront of the fight. Like you said, he doesn't do that much just yet. And I'm still worried about their overall damage output. However, they do have a Blink Dagger on the Magnus. Chosen One. They have some idea of where the Muerta's at, but they have a very hard time reaching her. So sadly, this smoke is not going to achieve anything. And they'll just have to get right back to farming. I say that though, but they're feeling very brave. They're actually going to encroach upon the high ground. Leng Miao's going in first. He's the tanky one. It's going to draw in a charge from the Spirit Breaker. Now what? What's the plan? Nether Strike coming back. Leng Miao still alive. Getting the life drain. Being kept up at the moment. The Morphling is not joining the fight. Shining blinks to the backlines. Finds CXK. Doesn't throw out the Doom just yet. Demonic Purge going out onto him.
Oh, what a charge.
A finally emerges into this fight. But it's a bit too late to save the life of the Abaddon as he will end up dead. Pugna gets picked off as well. Muerta with a double. Enough damage thrown in from the Pierce the Veil. No counter initiation from Limit Gaming means that the Lost Ark able to easily clean up the 2 heroes and escape with their lives.
Yeah, it was a lot of poking and prodding. And Limit, they're just so far behind net worth-wise that like this poking and prodding is never going to work for them, right? Like when you're so far behind in the net worth, you need to catch them by surprise. You need to be able to try and alleviate some of your new items to try and get yourself some kills and then just back off from there. But if you're sitting around and your Abaddon is shielding himself and, you know, he's getting a life drain coming in from the Pugna, so he's a little tanky, but all it takes is for you to slowly run out of resources, which is what happened there. And the Last Ark are able to just run forward and capitalize on it because they've got so much more net worth than what you do. Like, all of their cores have 1 to 2 extra more items than you. They've just got so much more reach, so much more damage, and so much more HP to survive a lot of this poke. So it is very hard for Limit to be able to get these fights going because unfortunately Chosen One still hasn't RP'd yet. And we're waiting patiently to see when that will come out. But Aegis now on Erica means that this Muerta will be able to freely kind of just walk through this map and get whatever kills she would like.
Yep. Echoes has Manta style, of course. Random bounty stacking that they have going on there for the Lost Ark. Not like they need net worth right now, though. Gold is not an issue for them. They're about to get more of it because down bottom, we have a charge going in onto Leng Miao. They have the Nether Strike. They have the Impetus damage. How do they get them out of this? Chosen One is waiting in the wings, hoping for an RP play potentially, but doesn't actually use any of the spells. They're just happy to allow Leng Miao to live. They'll show some presence. Everybody else just says, all right, cool. We don't really care that much about an Abaddon's life.
Yeah, popping a 70-second cooldown, that's not that bad. Especially if it means that they had to use some resources for it. But we're looking towards this Tier 2 tower for the Last Ark. As you have said previously, it's hard for them to take these towers really fast, but when you have an Aegis, you can kind of just sit back and slowly chip away, kill the creep waves as fast as you possibly can, because right now the Limit don't want to fight you at all. They definitely don't want to come anywhere near this Muerta. She's going to be hard to deal with the Mjolnir, the Pierce the Veil. Like they don't have normal damage, let alone having damage that's going to go through an ethereal carry right now.
Charge forward onto the Shining. Also blinks onto the high ground. They were hoping for the Morphling, but Chosen One finally finds the skewer back. BKB popped by Shining, but he should still end up dead here. A is going to throw in some damage, and that's going to allow them to finish off the Doom. Okay, things starting to get a bit better for them. Charge forward by A. This is a madman play here, Fluke. He's going to get Nether Struck back. CXK saves him for now, and they might still want to pursue the rest of the fight. Chosen One skewering back the Spirit Breaker. Why? Still too tanky, though, for them to kill off quickly. Limit Gaming, for the love of God, let them go. Let them leave. You've held the base. It's good enough.
Yeah, they thought they could push the envelope there, but you just see the issues that A has when you're going into a Muerta that has like more than an extra item than you. And Muerta is one of those heroes that is very much dominant when you have an extra item, especially in carry matchups like this. You're able to just kind of stand your ground and do the damage, but didn't have the extra heroes to keep people in place. So Erica wasn't able to get the free kill. So they hold, and they didn't really use much. I mean, they echoed. I mean, not echoed, they RP'd, and that was it, right? Like, it's not like they had to commit some buybacks or anything like that. They really just used their spells properly and got themselves a big kill.
A is dead. Saw's mates.
Oh.
We've all been here, buddy.
Doom him.
Nope, he's dead. He's super dead.
Oh.
Feels bad, mate. So
that's depressing. Not dying to Doom.
He messed up. What happens whenever you're playing into these Dooms that have bots? He was in between the waves. He was too far away from the creep that was being TP'd onto. So he couldn't kill it in time. And then he realized his mistake. He was like, oh, crap. I can't get there. What now? And they actually take the Twin Gate. They go top. They might still be able to kill off this Abaddon and CXK Shadow Demon. CXK looks like he's going to be the first casualty. And right after he falls, Leng Yao will join him. 2 kills picked up in the top lane. Party to the Morphling assassination down bottom. Last Star can just do whatever the hell they want. And they still have this Aegis to play with, so they're probably going to leverage it to take the tier 2 tower in the top lane.
Yeah, they send Echo bottom to just kind of get rid of all the creeps in that bottom side. Chosen One, though.
He's actually dead. Shining 0-2.
They've got
Shining kept the Doom, yeah. He didn't have to use it for the Morphling, so now he can use it on this young Magnus. Bro, he doesn't even bother trying to do anything. Hands off keyboard from Chosen One. My man says all the drip in real life, but here in the game, he's struggling. Ends up losing his life in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's really depressing. Not only did your Morphling not die with... your Morphling died without being doomed, it means that they are able to transfer that into a second core kill on the Chosen One, and now they get themselves a nice little shard for why. So, planar pocket. I still don't fully understand this spell, so yeah, we'll see if it does anything.
Actually, I think it's sort of similar to this Abaddon Borrowed Time Axe. Sort of similar, yeah. But it's like,
I just feel like
it's very niche.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna have some weird interactions with like Life Drain and stuff, like Ag Shard Life Drain, not just regular Life Drain. So. Oh, we'll see. We'll see what the pocket can whip out this time around. There are a few things that it can reflect. You know, you can take like the Life Drain, you can take the Adaptive Strikes. I mean, you can't take Demonic Purge, right? Is it single target or is it projectile spells?
I believe it's target spells. So
yeah,
you should actually be able to take.
Spell.
You should actually be able to take Demonic Purge then.
All right, big.
That would be huge. If he can get that in the middle of the fight, that would be pretty big.
Especially because his Morta really needs to make sure that she is not Demonic Purged in these fights. She can have a lot of issues. Obviously, you can't get rid of Pierce the Veil, but just making her so she can't constantly move around is very important. Did Normalend try to do the thing? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Cheeky little bugger.
But they changed it, fam. They changed it.
Yeah, they did.
No.
I remember I was abusing that a decent amount, playing Enchantress 5. And then they're like, oh, by the way, you don't want to do this anymore. And they're like, okay. He tried. I respect the hustle. Trying in a game like this, at least now he knows.
By the way, don't you love his itemization, dude? He's got Hurricane Pike and a young Hyperstone, a casual one. What a boss.
In the last fight they had near the Dire Roche pit, I looked over him and Echo, and they both had 3.2k gold. And I was like, what are you guys waiting for? They're like, it's one of those games, like, I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this, right? Like, you're having such a good game on a hero that, like, naturally doesn't have, like, a lot of items flowing into it. And you're like, what do I actually spend my gold on? Like, most of the time playing Enchantress, you get stuck on your Hurricane Pike, right? So now he's sitting there like, what do I build? Like, what's the most efficient item for me to get next?
Yep. He can choose to go with a full Moonshot. He can turn this into an AC, which would be pretty... Actually, buy AC, dude. You're going to get the money for it anyway. This is a phenomenal game for AC. But also, he can just do literally whatever the hell he wants. At this point in time, top lane might have some trouble for the Morphling, but the charge goes onto one of the illusions. Shining is still hunting, though. Trying to skirt his way through the trees, but they will not be able to find the Morph. A is A-okay. But Shining, dude, this Doom does not give up. Look at him go. He wants this Morphling. Oh, no. A doesn't have his homies nearby him. He just waveformed forward. They don't have vision, but Spirit Breaker's coming to check. Plots the... Oh, there we go. Oh. They see him. They see him. They got him. They got him. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Lincoln's
Oh, the
popped,
charge.
Nether Strike. Shining coming in with the Blink Dagger, and he has Doom available. They're gonna find him. They don't even need, yet again, the Doom. They're throwing in Morty's Kisses. He's trying to charge himself away. Rod of Atos will be there to cancel it. I really thought he was gonna live. I thought he was gonna go left, but for the want of that one extra camp near the mines, he ends up dead on the dire side of the map.
Yeah, sometimes you just get a little greedy. Now Erica might be a little bit too greedy in the bottom side. What are you doing?
Where's the team? Team? CXK coming. He's gonna cancel out the blink or the TP attempt. No way out for you. And there's no Aegis to protect him either. This is gonna be a heads-up kill. It's unfortunate that the Pugna gets it. There's a Doom now onto the Magnus. Shining. How the hell did he get here so quickly? They kill off this mag, avenging Erica's life, but let's see what else they can get. Nether Strike pushing back Chusheng. Leng Niao also fighting in this fight. BKB pop by Shining. They really want to try find one of these kills. CXK will buy time with the disruption onto the Pugna. And Shining's BKB is about to elapse, but their net worth lead is a bit too high for them. Normal End can solo zone out the Abaddon, leaving CXK to his own isolated devices, which means that he gets killed off. And yeah, they do get the Erica kill. It is a pretty big deal, but it's not cheap, Fluke. It's not cheap.
Yeah, well, I mean, they lose all 4 heroes across the map at some point in time. Yes, they do get Erica. That was a head scratcher for me. I don't know on what planet you think that you can do that, but I mean, he gets punished for it, tries to TP away, and then his teammates come in and start to mop up the mess that he'd made. But again, it's not like they're getting anything out of these kills. That's the thing that's really starting to concern me here for the last arc. It's 30 minutes in, they're 25k above, and they haven't even dented a tier 3 tower yet, right? So I'm just trying to think of, do they have to rely on another Aegis for them to go up high ground? I still don't think that that's really going to be super important for them, because they can simply just get RP'd and pulled back into the base, and Muerta is not going to have this massive amount of mobility for her to get outside of the base after that. So I mean, it still feels like that limit, even though that they are well and truly behind, like they're like, 5% chance for them to win this game. I mean, 5% is still chance.
Yep. They will get hard red, though, with the scan. So the Lost Ark are aware that a fight is coming, but Chosen One still finds the skewer back onto Shining. There's the RP as well. Do they have the damage to kill off this Doom? He doesn't have Doom available as a spell, so he will die off. Morty's Kisses did rain down and help to kill off this Pugna. CXK finds a disruption, laying it out onto the Spirit Breaker, and Doom brought back. He's coming to the fight, so they need to run. He's already here, has access to the spell in 8 seconds. They've isolated Chosen One. They really want the Magnus kill. They start off with the Abaddon. Chosen One, at the very least, able to finish off YYYY, but will die himself, granting a triple kill to Normal End. The Enchantress popping off in this game. 11-1 and 11 for Normal End. Nice build, bro. Nice score.
Yep. Absolutely giga Chad. And that's the issue of being so far behind. And fighting outside of your base is you just lose the fight, right? Like, even though that you're able to get a nice quick kill onto the Doom without being doomed yourselves, you still have to contend with all the other net worth that's floating around. So unfortunately for Limit, I think they did drag this game out relatively well, but it feels like the ending is on the horizon here. There's not much that they can do. Them playing against Mega Creeps is going to be, I don't want to say next to impossible, but it's definitely going to be something that you don't want to do, especially for a game 1 in a series like this. So we'll have to sit back and wait and see what they're going to do.
Let's see. They have an Abaddon that doesn't have a Rads just yet. Magnus, I guess, it's pretty much just Magnus, right? Their D-push in the event that they get fully megaed. That doesn't feel that great, but it's only 2 lanes of racks for now. Limit Gaming will have at least one more opportunity, with the Lost Ark going to finish off their items, presumably getting the next Roche before they come to end the game. So what? How many minutes does that buy them? At best, 2-3 minutes before the next push comes. Maybe 5? Is there any items that could come in that time period that could change the game for them?
I mean, this Ags feels like it's going to do a decent amount of work, especially up against the Muerta, but I mean, what do they have? They've got Halberd, could be pretty important for them. If you get the Halberd off onto the Muerta, could be pretty important, but I think a lot of these other items are going to be pretty inconsequential.
Roche is being taken right now. The Lost Ark have not been scouted while this is happening. Limit Gaming have gone on a smoke adventure, but completely to the wrong side of the map. They will eventually throw out the scan, and it does connect flush, but it's too late. Age is taken by the Muerta. Of course, the real carry of the game is the one that deserves the cheese. Give it over to normal end. Dude, he's got Sanj, no, not Sanj, Yashakaya, Moonshot, Hurricane Pike, Enchanted Quiver. Are you kidding me? This is a carry hero.
Yeah, I mean, the way that he's been playing, he definitely deserves to have that moniker of one of the carry heroes. So I think at the end of this game, I'm very interested to see what his damage chart's going to look like, right? Like how much damage he's actually been able to do. And see how much of that he's going to be overcoming some of these other heroes in the game.
Yep. We do have a Doom coming into the game. They found the Morphling. That's the big target. Shining, just trying to keep a beat on him. But they are able to at least get the Morphling away. Get him closer towards the fountain, and that'll keep him alive. Chosen One, though, he gets left out to hang and dry. He dies, does have buyback available. And Erica also finishes off the Abaddon, who does not have buyback. Now the Lost Ark feel that, well, we have enough to just go and end the game directly without having to resort to Megas. How can Limit Gaming stop this? Chosen One, buy back, please. A is almost dead right now. They need to get him back into the base. Impetus shots also almost finished him off. Echoes just bought a dataless. Looks like the game is about to end here, Fluke. Limit Gaming aren't even going to muster up a fight. So this is going to end up being a GG, well played for the Lost Ark. They secured themselves